Trump didn't just threaten Canada with tariffs, he's using them to hide something much darker. And it has to do with Epstein.
And to understand why it's a cover-up, you first have to see how absolutely insane the cover story is. It all starts with the letter he sent to Prime Minister Mark Carney this week.
You mean the love letter? The rambling word salad accusing Canada of flooding the US with fentanyl? Which is not true. Like, not even a little.
According to U.S. Customs data, less than 1% of fentanyl actually crosses from Canada. We're talking 45 pounds last year and about the same this year. But sure, blame us for your opioid crisis like we're sneaking it in with hockey bags at duty-free.
And after that weird blame game, he threatened Canada with a 35% tariff starting on August 1st. Taco Trump moves the goalposts again. Separate from all the other tariffs he's already stacked. You know, 50% on steel and aluminum, 25% on cars, 50% on copper, because nothing says economic genius like hostage taking.
So why is he really doing this? Because Trump wants to economically weaken us, push us into submission, and eventually annex us as the 51st state. That's always been the play.
But here's the kicker. As Melanie Joly put it, the weaker the US becomes, the stronger Canada becomes with our EU and global ties. And let's be real, the weaker the US becomes, which they absolutely are, the stronger and more independent we get. Bye-bye, America, like forever.
That's why we keep saying bye Canadian and bye-bye American permanently. And to our American friends, please, for the love of poutine, rescue your democracy and vote out your fascist administration. We'll bring donuts.
Let's be crystal clear here. These new 35% tariffs all show and distraction. They don't even apply to CUSMA-compliant goods. If your product meets North American rules of origin and you file the paperwork, you're exempt. But hey, why let boring trade facts ruin a perfectly good rage post on Truth Social, right?
Trump claims he's protecting American jobs, but here's who's actually getting hurt. U.S. workers and families. Those tariffs, they're basically a tax on Americans. Higher prices on cars, copper, steel, groceries, you name it. Meanwhile, Canada just shifts trade to Europe, Asia, and Latin America. We're already moving on.
This isn't a negotiation tactic. It's economic self-sabotage with a side of supersized delusion. Trump says he's the ultimate deal maker, but nothing screams art of the deal like tanking your own economy while your neighbor walks away with new friends and better deals.
And let's not forget about the dairy rant. He's still crying about supply management as if we're hiding gold bars inside blocks of cheddar cheese.
And here's the facts. Supply managed dairy only triggers high tariffs if US exports exceed quotas. Spoiler alert, they rarely ever exceed those quotas. It turns out, Canadians actually like Canadian milk. Who knew? Ours doesn't come with a side of growth hormones, just actual milk.
So while he's busy threatening new tariffs and scribbling fan fiction letters to Canada, we'll just keep investing in workers, expanding global partnerships, and defending our democracy. We don't kneel, not for Trump, not for anyone. And let's not forget, he's basically sending these tariff letters to every country on Earth. Except, of course, Russia, Israel, and Saudi Arabia, because nothing screams America first like dictators first.
Meanwhile, Canada's over here going, dude, we've literally strengthened our borders, stepped up enforcement, and invested in real solutions, even though there isn't actually a fentanyl crisis coming from us. But did we still try to work with them? Yep. We repealed taxes, offered compromises, bent over backwards, but Trump doesn't want solutions. He wants control.
Mark Carney said it best. Canada has made vital progress against fentanyl and will keep protecting both our countries. We're defending our workers and businesses, and we won't bow down. We're building a strong, independent economy. We don't scare easy, and we definitely don't bend the knee, Donald.
Yeah. This is the same playbook he runs everywhere. Create chaos, bully, distract, and force submission. But he doesn't know us. We've been standing in -40-degree blizzards with double-doubles in hand for decades. You think we're scared of a 35% tariff tantrum? We have 0 Fs left to give.
So while he's out there trying to break Canada economically because it's the only way he thinks he can win, we'll keep trading with the rest of the world, investing in our people and protecting our democracy.
Trump wants Canada to kneel, but the North remembers, and we don't kneel for anyone, especially not a guy who writes fan fiction letters on Truth Social.
And why all these letters, tariffs, and tantrums right now? One word: distraction.
Exactly, Deb. While he's busy ranting about fake dairy conspiracies and fentanyl fairy tales, what he really doesn't want you talking about is Epstein.
Oh yeah, the files. The same ones Pam Bondi claimed were sitting on her desk. And now, poof, gone. The White House says they don't exist. Epstein killed himself, and there's nothing to see here.
Trump even snapped at a reporter this week, all sweaty and orange and yelling, "Are we still talking about this guy?"
Oh yeah, Donnie, we are. Because child sex trafficking and sexual abuse of minors isn't just something you sweep under your golf cart. This is the same guy who bragged about barging into Miss Teen USA dressing rooms because he owned the pageant so he could.
Then there's the grab them by the He literally admitted to sexual assault on tape. And 50% of American voters still said, yep, let's give him the nuclear codes.
And let's not forget, he said he'd date his own daughter if she wasn't his daughter. That's a sentence that should get you banned from society, not elected to run one.
There are more photos and videos of Trump with Epstein than there are actual competitive swimmers in that right-wing trans sports panic. Facts.
Meanwhile, his insiders are turning on each other. Roseanne Barr, Steve Bannon, Tucker Carlson, even Laura Loomer. They're fighting like seagulls at a beach french fry stand.
And Pam Bondi, she even tried to explain her way out of it, claiming she meant files in a general sense, like JFK and MLK files too. Sure, Pam, and I meant I'll run a marathon when I actually meant I'll watch Netflix and eat Cheetos.
In the end, they promised a grand finale of Drain the Swamp. And then they delivered a binder of photocopied Wikipedia printouts from 2014. Incredible. It's like The Real Housewives, but way less classy.
So, if you're confused, don't worry. That's the goal. Confuse, distract, deny, and then blame Canada. The holy trinity of Trump logic.
And remember, Epstein definitely didn't kill himself, and these files definitely didn't vanish under a magic trick. They vanished because certain names were too spicy for public consumption.
Elon Musk even straight up claimed that Trump's name is on the files. Not a hint, not a wink, he spelled it out. And Donnie's entire strategy? Distract, deny, deflect. He's like a raccoon with a flashlight, always scrambling to the shiny next scandal.
So while he's busy threatening Canada and lobbing rage letters at the world, remember, it's not about tariffs or dairy. It's about covering up decades of predatory behavior, dirty deals, and his total moral rot.
That's the real circus. Because the second we stop staring at the clown show, we see the predator behind the curtain.
But hey, what's one more crime when you've got a whole buffet of them lined up, right, Donnie?
And if you thought the clown show was over, nope, sorry to tell you. The White House this week posted a meme of Trump as Superman. Yep, you heard that right. They called him the symbol of hope, truth, justice, and the American way.
Superman? Bro, you're more like Lex Luthor with a spray tan. Or maybe Super Loser if we're being generous.
Can you even imagine if Obama had done this? MAGA heads would have been spinning so fast they'd have lifted off like SpaceX rockets. Fox News would still be running a 24/7 meltdown special called Obama's Cape Crisis.
Remember when they lost their minds over Obama's tan suit? A tan suit! They acted like he showed up at the State of the Union in a Borat song.
Meanwhile, Trump's out here posing as a superhero while the actual country burns, tariffs explode, and the Epstein Files vanish faster than his unpaid contractors.
He's already shared photos of himself as a king, as the Pope. At this point, the only thing he hasn't dressed up as is the inventor of ketchup.
And now he's Superman? Come on, man. You're about as close to Superman as a Walmart Halloween costume is to the real deal. Kryptonite? More like egotite.
Speaking of kryptonite, people online are already roasting him harder than a July 4th weenie roast. They're saying the Epstein Files are his real kryptonite. And they're not wrong.
Nope. Honestly, if you've ever needed proof that he lives in a full-blown delusional Disneyland, there it is. Next week, he'll show up as Wonder Woman in gold cuffs screaming, "I'll save America from Canada's milk quotas."
At this point, can this guy stoop any lower? Oh wait, don't answer that. He's probably digging a tunnel as we speak. And before anyone starts calling Carney weak for not matching Trump's tariff tantrum blow for blow, let's break it down.
Carney didn't cave. He's playing chess while Trump is finger painting with ketchup. The deadline for Canada's counter-tariffs was July 21st, but Trump moved the goalposts again, now to August 1st. Classic Taco Trump. Threats always changing overnight.
Instead of jumping into a screaming match, Carney kept Canada steady. We still held the 25% counter tariffs on US steel and aluminum, and it stays on. But we aren't starting to torch our own economy just to match a toddler meltdown.
Remember, Ottawa can and will raise tariffs if needed, but we're not dancing to Trump's mood swings. While he's busy ranting, Carney was planning meetings with his cabinet and premiers to build an actual plan, not a napkin scribble at Mar-a-Lago.
And guess what? The markets weren't impressed either. The S&P 500 dipped 0.3%, Dow dropped nearly 280 points, and Trump's supposed art of the deal? It's more like art of tanking your own retirement fund.
So this isn't about being weak, it's about being strategic. Trump wants a brawl for TV ratings, but we're here to build alliances, protect our economy, and not give him more clickbait.
So for the haters out there crying, Carney is weak, nah, he's just not playing WWE SmackDown with a man who thinks windmills cause cancer.
And hold on to your hats, people, because Trump's now threatening a blanket 15 to 25% tariff on any country that hasn't yet received a letter. The classic, everyone is punished until I get attention.
Oh, and of course we can't forget the usual. Trump's floating annex in Canada is the 51st state again. Carney's answer? Canada's not for sale. Mic drop.
And as if our week wasn't spicy enough, we also got a second letter from the US about the Canadian wildfires.
Right. Apparently, we're setting too many trees on fire and it's hurting their air quality. Sorry, but unlike you, we can't just pay hush money to Mother Nature.
So we wrote them back. Our open letter went something like this. Dear US, if you don't like our smoke, maybe stop electing flaming dumpster fires.
You can watch the full video in the links below. It's a doozy, and make sure to sign your name to our open letter. Let's show Mega we're not pushovers up here.
And did you catch what everybody's favorite Premier Wab Canoe said about the US blaming Canadian wildfire smoke?
Manitoba's premier and star player didn't just push back, he roasted them on national TV, called the Americans politicizing tragedy for likes on Instagram. So we can add Canoe's clapback to the Hall of Fame.
Meanwhile, Nova Scotia Premier Tim Houston labeled Trump's tariff threat childish bullying. And BC's David Eby, he called this letter flailing and factually incorrect, invoking other F words that will leave to your imagination. But yes, premiers are not mincing words.
Oh, and before you go rage scrolling, don't forget, we've got a merch store. Grab your Bye Bye American shirts, North Remembers mugs, perfect for awkward family dinners or your next protest.
Or join the A-Team. Our members get exclusive behind-the-scenes content, extra roasts, where we can all scream into the void together. Politely, of course.
So hit that like button if you're tired of trade tantrums and toddler-in-chief energy.
And share this video with a friend who still thinks Trump is a genius deal maker. We promise it'll be more fun than watching him write a fan fiction letter to the world.
All right, That's it for this week, everyone. Stay strong, stay loud, and remember, we don't kneel, we double down. Smash subscribe for more weekly roasts, real talk, and all the Canadian sass your heart can handle.
And share this video with a friend who still thinks Trump is a